Hi, this is Chandra, and this is the second mini album out of the one paper stack that I did a few videos back. The covers on this one are 6x6, and the spine is 2x6, and it's just a regular spine. The covers and the spine are chipboard. The base pages are 5.5 by 5.5. So there's the pocket here in each of the base pages. There are 6 base pages. When you flip it open, it just flips and becomes a nice little layout like that. I did all 6 pages the same. The only thing that I did was when I adhered them, these ones flip to the bottom, and the last 3 flip to the top. And I just did that by rotating the sheets, the pages after I made them before I inserted them into this album. And I did use the hidden hinge binding system on this one, and there's a tutorial already on my channel for that. So I'm just going to get right into this mini, which I'm going to call Hello World, because that's what's on the top of it. So for the base pages, you're going to need one sheet that measures 6.5 by 5.5, and then one sheet that measures 5.5 by 5.5. On the 6.5 by 5.5 sheet, you're going to place it so that the 6.5 inch side is across the top, and you're going to score it 1/2 inch on the left and right side. So you're going to score it 1/2 inch and then again at 6, and that will make the base page. Now on each of these flaps that we're going to make, you're going to put them all so that the 6 inch length is across the top. You're going to score each of them at 5.5 inches. And you're going to need a total of 3 of those. And that's all the scoring that we're going to do. So I'm going to get out my score tape, and I use the 1/2 inch or the 1/4 inch. That's just the size I prefer to use. So we're going to go to the sheet that was 6.5 by 5.5, and I'm going to start with that one. And I'm just going to fold it where I made my score marks, and I'm going to crease on my folds. Then I'm going to apply my score tape to the flaps in their folded position. And next, I'm going to take the 5.5 by 5.5 sheet that I did not score or do anything to, and I'm just going to take the tape backing off the sheet, and I'm going to place this 5.5 by 5.5 sheet on top of it. I'm going to make sure that it's lined up along the top and the side. And somehow I did something. See how there's a little gap there between the folds? I'm just going to use my blade and cut that little sliver off. You have to be careful not to cut your fold. And so that makes the pocket where you're going to place the hidden hinge binding on this side, and then your tag on this side. So now we're just going to take each of these pieces that we scored at 1/2 inch, and we're going to score them. Now, on mine, I put one flap inside the page. So one flap is going to go inside the page, and the other 2 are going to be connected. One's going to be connected to the page, and then the other page is going to be connected to that. So here's my base page, and here is my first flap. I want to apply the tape with it when it's extended. I don't want to apply it when it's folded, because we are going to stick it in the page. Now, you can do this one of 2 ways. I think I want to flip it over, and then that way my tag will come out. When I flip this in like this, my tag will come out here still. So I'm going to flip it over. So I put my tape on here on my flap, and then I just mitered my corners on my flap here. Just they're mitered there. Now I'm going to take off the tape backing. I'm going to stick it in there with the tape side up. You can always flip it over. You don't want to you want to press down when the page is right before the score mark, so that it still folds over nicely. And then I'm just going to make sure that it's folded nicely. So now I can flip it over, and so my opening is on this side, or I can leave it so that when it's all folded up, the tag comes out this way. It's up to you. So now this next page, I'm going to fold, and then I'm going to apply the score tape while it's in its folded position. I'm going to miter the corners. You always want to miter your corners and flaps like this when you're attaching it, so that when you cover it with your paper, it doesn't really look like it's a separate sheet. So now I'm just going to, for me it's easiest just to fold it down and then line the page, the folded page up. Try not to get my hair in the way here. There we go. So now when it opens up, it's lined up there. And it still folds. Well, the camera's not as far back as it usually is. So this last page, we're going to do the same thing. Just apply score tape to the flap while it's in its folded position here. I'm going to miter my corners. Open up my page here, and I'm going to stick this right here because I want it to flip open like this and then flips down. So again, I'm going to peel off my tape backing, and then I'm just going to stick it on this page. Now I'm going to be mindful that I don't want to get too close to the binding on this edge here, because then it won't fold down. So you need to make sure the way the measurements are, it's exact. So you need to make sure that you are not applying it crooked so that it will still fold over. Okay? So that is the first page. And you're going to make 6 of those, and then you just attach this. Whoa, what's up with the focus? All right, camera. So then you're just going to attach it like this. So here was the first page. And what I did was I flipped it over. So this page doesn't have any flaps or anything. And then I attached it to the first 3 of the hidden hinge binding. Okay. Then the second ones, to get to open up this way, to open up on the top, I flipped my page over so that it opens up to the top like that. That's all I did. I didn't do different page styles or anything. It's just that on the first 3 pages, I attached them with the folds to the back. On the second 3 pages, I attached them with the folds on the front. I don't know. That's just how I chose to do it. You don't have to do it that way. And then that is your base page. And then you would just cut, since these are 5.5 inches each, you would just cut your patterned paper to be like 5 1/4 inches square, and then just mat them on there like I did here. And then I was just mindful of which design I wanted. Now, if you wanted to, you could just use one whole sheet and just cut one whole sheet and make it the same. So it's like a 12 by 12, actually it would be 11 by 11 size layout. And then you can design this whole page like a typical scrapbook page, and then just make sure that if you're applying anything on the creases here, that you cut it so that it can still fold nicely. So if you have any questions, let me know. I always get back to you. Might not be the same day you post a question, but I always get back to you. Thanks for watching. Bye.